On this episode of Geek Dad Life, we're going to crack open my backlog of MOTU Origins figures with Wave 4, 5, and 2 waves of Deluxe series figures. Hello everybody and welcome to Geek Dad Life. It's your host, Jay Gladfelter here. So, it was months in the making. More and more waves of MOTU Origins were coming out. I was picking them up with the intention to do reviews of them. Life gets busy, there's just so many things to do, and I just realized like I'm never gonna get to reviewing all of these. And this weekend I got my mini comics version of Triclops, the Mattel Creations exclusive, for my good buddy Mike at Nerd Bombers. And I wanted to shoot, some of these figures in it that I haven't even opened yet. So the normal Triclops, the Battleground Evil Lyn. So I was like, all right, I can't keep putting this off. I have a pile of MOTU Origins figures that I have to get to open to even just have them in current reviews that I need to stay on top of. So I thought it would be fun just to open them all on camera with you all, just to kind of share this unboxing experience. Sometimes you open up each figure as you get it, but sometimes you get a backlog and then you have almost like a Christmas morning or a birthday experience, just like opening up a whole bunch of awesome toys at once. So I figured I would document it and share that experience with you. So hopefully you all enjoy this video in lieu of having, my more normal reviews that I do for the waves of MOTU Origins. But this hopefully get me caught up, and then I can kind of just be current with my reviews from this point on. So if you like this video and want me to do more like it, hopefully I don't get backed up this bad again, hit that like button. And if you want to see when these episodes drop, click the subscribe button and that bell icon. All right, let's open this one of these up. Let's get this going here. My first one is going to be Triclops. Again, he looks awesome in the packaging. I love the retro look here. There's not much. I've already said all I can say about how awesome the packaging is for these MOTU Origins figures. Great artwork on the back by Axel and Francisco. And then we also have all the figures. This is Wave 4 of MOTU Origins. And I believe I got these from this set from Big Bad Toy Store, I believe. So unpunched, but I'm an opener, so I don't care. Let's open these bad boys. I will say though, I have been keeping some in box, just some of my favorites of different waves. I got an extra Scareglow, so I'm keeping that one in box. I got an extra Faker, I'm keeping that one in the box. So there are some that I am choosing to keep in the packaging. Don't know, what, if any of those will become valuable. It's not because of that. I just, for documentation's sake, I do love packaging for toys, but my need to have them out and to be able to display them usually takes over. But so here you got the figure, you got his sword and the little bubble there, and then this Wave 4 of MOTU Origins comes with Sneak Attack mini comic, which features all the characters in this wave. So we'll take one quick look of it. And we also have the figures just the same as on the back of the packaging, on the back there. And then we also, this is continuing on from some of the other figures, showing you that you can remove and kind of swap parts, which is pretty cool. All right, let's open this bad boy. Let me go in. Oh, there we go. One thing I do, actually this looks a little bit better, but some of the accessory baggies have been so freaking tightly wrapped that it's a pain in the neck to get it out, and maybe this will be the same way. It doesn't need, there we go, perfect, slide out. So there is Triclops. Head sculpt was great. He has the rotating eyes, which is awesome. Very much in the vintage style. I liked how the classics kind of, I think, gave this eye a green eye, which I thought was kind of cool. Wouldn't have mind seeing that carry over, but still looks great. Great articulation. Again, if you have any of these, you know what to expect here. And again, a lot like All the other accessories are a little bit bigger than the vintage ones. But yeah, he looks freaking awesome. Super excited to finally crack this bad boy open. All right, so Triclops, we got one down, 11 to go. Let's next go to Faker. This figure looks so freaking cool. Really excited to have a Faker in the line. This is a Wave 5 figure, so it has a different comic. The back, the artwork looks, let's see, let me go zoom out a little bit. The artwork looks fantastic. Again, it's part of this experience. It's the amazing artwork. You have all the figures for Wave 5 on the back there, plus He-Man and Skeletor. But looks great. All right, let's crack this bad boy open too. Now again, I probably could just rip all these off, but I don't know. I save the card backs because I have a problem. How many out there save the card backs? Even if you're an opener, do you save the card backs for these figures? And do you kind of slice them open so you kind of don't rip too much off of the card back? Or do you just tear it open and let it go? All right, again, this is the comic for the Wave 6 figures. Or I'm sorry, Wave 5 figures. And it carries over the theme of featuring the characters from that wave. Even though really it's just kind of Fisto and He-Man for a while. And there we go, there's the Fakers and the Merman. Even though Evelyn is not the battleground Evelyn. But Fisto is there, and yeah, there you go. In the other wave we had, who was our model? Let's try. So, oh god, they're gonna do a unique one for each figure? Huh, it seems wasteful. But yeah, this one's Faker. We'll see if that actually is the case. All right, well, maybe not wasteful, but you probably could have gotten away with just like a generic one there. That'd probably save money somewhere, I would think. Let's see, can this one just slide out easily? That would be nice. Again, I don't think we need this much plastic to carry the little sword in. I may be wrong. I don't know how this whole system works. But you have one complete power sword. Had some black crap on it there, but I thought it was ink or something. I don't know. Sword looks good, as it should. No marks there on the feet. Good. And boom. Now I'm free. I dig that they went with the vintage head on Faker. I think, obviously they're transitioning to that. I liked the new head sculpts for He-Man and Skeletor. I know a lot of people didn't, but I dug them. But I also like the vintage style head here as well, and I think it's fine on Faker. Again, He-Man body essentially with the orange Skeletor armor. Let's take a look at the I don't want to unbuckle it. It's easier to stick the arm up. And instead of a sticker, it's actually stamped on. Wonder how well that'll hold up over time. So if your kids are playing with it, I wonder if that'll wear off pretty easily. We'll see. My 7-year-old son, Zach, plays with all of the Origins figures. So we'll see how it stands the test of time being played with by him. But he's pretty good. He's not like a destroyer of toys, but still. How well will it stand up to normal play will be the question. But for collectors, it's probably not going to be a problem. Man. I love the colors. And again, MOTU Origins, just the way the color section used, it's like the right colors, but they just pop more. They're more vibrant, and it just makes them look really, really awesome. Really stand out on your toy shelf. I've been considering just starting to replace or put away my vintage He-Man figures for these Origins figures as a display, just because those legs get more wobbly over time. That rubber will continue to rot, and these are really good looking replacements. All right, next up is Ninjor, the evil ninja warrior. This is another Wave 4 figure. And you're probably like, God, Jay, be careful. I'm a professional. Not really. Get out of there. The Sneak Attack comic, mini comic. Is everybody saving every single mini comic? Maybe they're saving at least one from each wave. Yeah, they're doing a unique sheet for each character. All right, that's cool, I guess. Oh, I got 2. He got 2. Got doubled up there on that. Oh man. What's everybody thinking about the news that toys are going to be in short supply come this Christmas season? I know, being a parent of 2 young boys myself, it's a little bit of a stressor, so we're trying to make sure they let us know what toys they want Santa to get them, so that we can get those details off to Santa Claus in time to make sure we're not nothing will be missing under the Christmas tree. Hopefully, we'll see. All right, here is Ninjor. So it looks like maybe a running change. The ankles had the bands on them for Wave 4. Faker did not have them. He was in Wave 5, so maybe the rest didn't need it. So this was cloth goods on the vintage figure, and this is a more rubbery version of that armor. And I actually kind of prefer this. I think in this line they've done a really good job replacing cloth goods with kind of this rubbery material, because it's still really soft. It's really movable. You know, previous example being Scareglow. The vintage one had cloth goods. The new one for MOTU Origins did not, but I really like how they went about creating it. It's not really stiff and rigid like some of the MOTU Classics soft good replacements were. So I really like this approach. I don't mind it at all. Also, we got places to put the weapons, which is huge, because on the vintage one, you kind of just tuck it back under like the little band to hold it together, which is not long for this world. Even for my vintage one, I hesitate leaving it there for too long. What am I supposed to do with this other nunchuck here? I put it over his shoulders in case so it's easy to get to. And then this is the first time we've gotten this bow and arrow made. Yeah, I guess it's kind of cool. But still, love the addition of the ability to hold the accessories in the back. That's awesome. All right, 3 down, 9 to go, I think. Let's go with another Wave 5. I'm kind of just doing every other one here. I love that we've got the MOTU 2000X sticker here on the front. They kind of do it interchangeably, but it's a neat touch. We got Sucker Punch, mini comic that features all of the Wave 5 figures. Only one insert this time. Evelyn. And a lot of people prefer this look for her. I wish we would have gotten a second head sculpt, maybe like a non-headdress head sculpt. Would have been, I would think, would have sent this figure through the roof for me. Mainly because it's the same sculpt. Most people prefer this look to the yellow and blue one, but I think I'm still partial to the yellow and blue. But I think this looks really good. And this is the non-fixed knees version. It doesn't bother me as much as it does some, but I know for those that hated the knees that they did on these figures, I think even some of these Evil Lins are already getting the new kneecaps. Let's open this up. Okay, Mattel, there's an easy way for you just to not make it so hard. I'm Maybe getting in a good rhythm now. Here our staff. Again, it's the same as the other one, but in purple. I just realized I wasn't shooting in 4K. It's my bad, everybody. It's my bad. All right, but now I am. What should we do next? Let's do Stratos. Start cutting. Sneak Attack comic. Got the Stratos instruction guide. Change the parts. Again, if you're gonna do that, just let me stop there. Off the ankles. If you're gonna do that, they should just show how you can like mix and match them, because I think it's such a fun part of the toy line, and you know, I think it's a missed opportunity to kind of really showcase that. Glyos is so popular; people are already doing it with these figures, so just highlight it. Again, if you have the Beastman body, you know what to expect here. It's reusing it, including the weird booty feet. I wish they would eventually give us some toad feet. Where's the toes? And then his wings are in the accessory pack. Got so many bubbles laying around. Too many bubbles. And they attach only at the wrist. These are nice and tight on here, which is nice. The ones that were on the Rey Mysterio, I really liked them, but they seemed really soft, so I was worried they would follow suit on the regular release of Stratos, and that is not the case. These are nice and rigid, so they should hold in place and not get droopy like I'm experiencing with my Rey Mysterio. So, awesome. Good looking figure. All right, let's go to this merman. Somewhat controversial in that this is part of the Lords of Power set from PowerCon last year. Really good set, expensive set. I think I spec'd out to like 50 some odd dollars per figure, maybe 55, even more, 57. And which is a lot when these are, you know, $15 retail. And I guess I can take solace in the fact that there are a lot less paint apps on this version than there were on the Lords of Power one. But I think for a lot of people, this mini comic style merman was one of the main drivers of purchasing that set. So for those that waited and didn't get it, you got a pretty good deal. This was way cheaper than the $260 plus whatever the shipping was on that Lords of Power set from 2020. Still thankful I have it, because I do think that merman looks way better than this one. But I'm saying that already owning that set, so, you know, would I be saying that if I didn't have it and I got this one? I'm probably saying, this one's good enough. This one's fine. Oh, also though, I love the Lord's Power sticker. That's really cool. Sucker Punch comic. Only one merman insert. One thing I'm looking forward to unpacking all these just now, afterwards, setting up all of the figures all at once and see what, gosh, 6 months? The Deluxe He-Man and Skeletor showed up about 6 months ago. 6 months worth of MOTU Origins backing up, looks like. Got the Corn Cob sword. Looks pretty good here. Again, the the Lords of Power set from PowerCon is cooler. It's kind of in a pearlescent yellow though, which is neat. Let's take it out. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Again, a lot less paint apps than the PowerCon exclusive version. So if you dropped a lot of money on that, I think you still have a, you know, a superior version of this figure. But if it's on a shelf with a whole bunch of other figures, you probably wouldn't notice. And again, I prefer this look of merman way more than the kind of the the vintage action figure version. In my mind, that's Stinkor. Even though I know Stinkor came later, I just feel like this is more Merman. Big fan of the early mini comics, and yeah, so I really do prefer this version of the character. I wonder if they will do a kind of blue colorway to match it more with the mini comics appearance. I'm sure at some point they will, since they've already gotten the tooling. All right, next up is Fisto. You know, one that is, the design aspects have been improved on upcoming figures that we saw at PowerCon this year. This is not vac metal on the fist, and the midriff is showing here on this armor. So hopefully, you know, as maybe we'll get another version of Fisto that improves some of those minor quibbles and issues, which it seems like they are. We have the Battleground He-Man Battle Cat set, which I have found one. But if you watch Toy Geeks, you know that the one that I found, the chrome was jacked on his shoulder, and I just couldn't pull the trigger, which is a bummer, because I really want that set. But hopefully in time I'll be able to find it. I know we were all stressed. Oops, my camera fell. I know we were all stressed at when the Rise of Evil 2-pack came out, you know. It was really hard to find, and now those Rise of Evil 2-packs are all over the place. So I know there's a lot of frustrations with distribution on this toy line and a lot of toy lines, but I think we have to extend a little bit of grace to the toy makers and really anybody right now, because distribution is all messed up. It is all jacked up. Shipping containers, I mean, everything is just like absolutely a mess. And the fact that all toys, not just our adult collectibles, all toys could be affected this holiday season because of those shipping issues. Again, I think we just all have to hold our breath, and hopefully eventually we'll be able to find those figures that we want to find. But it actually looks pretty good. The quality of the plastic here looks really nice. Like, it feels really good in hand. I wish this was back metal. I guess I can't pull it off. Oh well. I like that the Mr. T, you could pull the fist off. It was like a glove, but I like that it's actually physically part of it. So they made the right call there. There you go. There's Fisto. Not Kit Fisto. That's Star Wars. All right, last of the normal wave release, and it is all deluxe figures after that. But it's Hordak. And as you can see, we've gotten two Hordaks pretty close to each other, but still excited to get them. But to be honest, out of these two Hordaks, I want the PowerCon exclusive one more, the more Filmation style. I like the blue. I like the blue and that more skeleton-y kind of face. I just like that look more. But these do kind of encompass a few different looks. At least they gave us the more vintage head on the deluxe version of the character. I know a lot of like criticisms of this head sculpt. He's too beady-eyed. But I didn't mind that so much. Oops. This was out checking. The comic, Sneak Attack. It's not sneaking up on me anymore. And we've got just one sheet. I felt special getting the two that one time, but now it's not happening anymore. So, in hand, it feels pretty good. I know I reversed the order here and did two accessories first, but I think it looks pretty good. The cape is more firm than the other cloth good replacements, but on the vintage figure, this was not really cloth. It was kind of like a plasticky kind of cape. It is one piece. It is part of the figure, and even pulling up here, it looks like a little bit of the glue stuck, or maybe that was part of where they wanted to adhere to it. So just be aware of that. And let's look at the accessories. So remember on Toy Geeks when we talked about these figures, like when the press figures were first, press pictures of these figures were first revealed. They like mistakenly put the imp shield in the bow, but there you go. And he has an open hand. These hands get a little messed up in the packaging, so I always feel I have to tweak the fingers, the open hands. And boom, there you go. There's our first Hordak. I don't mind the head sculpt. I think it looks cool. I like it changing up a little bit. But again, for those that prefer the vintage style head sculpt, in no time at all, you had a new Hordak to roll with that has a more vintage style head. So they got you covered. Also just showing the stack of Origins figures we got going on right now. All right, I've been waiting for the open Clamp Champ forever, so I'm doing Clamp Champ. I freaking love Clamp Champ. I have the vintage figure. Was lucky enough to get it before it got stupid expensive. Actually, I got it. Most of my harder to find figures in the collection that I got my Eternia in. So that was still one of my greatest toy hauls ever. The gentleman that referred me to this person still watches this channel from time to time. So if you're watching, again, thank you again. From my last podcasting days, I've made a lot of friends, and somebody's like, hey, I know you're into action figures. And my buddy's selling a huge He-Man collection. And again, by that point, I had a lot of figures. I had Grayskull, I had Snake Mountain, just about everything. But those later figures that were hard to find, vehicles and stuff that were hard to find, and of course, Eternia. All of which I didn't really have room for because we lived in a smaller townhouse at the time, but I was like, you see the opportunity to get an Eternia playset, you do not want to pass that up. Let's take a look at the clamp. Okay, you push it down. Which is probably how the vintage ones work, but you know, we're doing this live right now. Seems to work pretty good. You got the extra clamp, the extra clamper. You got an extra hand to dual clamp, if need be. And you got the extra Clamp Champ head. Between the two, I don't know. I don't know which one I'd go with. I think I like the one, I think this is a more vintage style one, right? I think I'd go with this one. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, that was out of focus. I don't know which one I'll go with. I think this is the vintage style. I think I'm gonna go with this head sculpt. I like it. But they're not that much different, but I think I like this head sculpt better. Oops. Battle Armor Reborn is the comic, which they all come with except the Hordak one. So anyway, he sends a picture. You see the Eternia there, and all these different figures, and I was just like blown away. Like, it was just an insane collection. Everything, just about everything, including, you know, the Powers of Grayskull stuff, the dinosaurs, which I sold because I really didn't have room at the time for any of it. So I sold those, kept the Eternia, kept most of the figures. I kind of regret selling the dinos now, but, you know, I'm sure I'll come back across them again at some point in time. But Clamp Champ was in there, and he's still, I mean, most of those figures are still in my collection to this day. I think I had all the rare ones except for King Randor and Scareglow which I was able to get later on. Get for much cheaper than they are now, thankfully. And yeah, again, it's just one of those great pickups for a really great price, especially by today's standards. But most of it went into storage because, again, I didn't have room for it at the time, so it went into storage until my wife and I bought this house, and I had a much bigger office to work with. All right, we just opened a buzzsaw or a Hordak, so it should be fresh in our minds. I still think it was a missed opportunity to do Hurricane Hordak. But now, maybe they didn't have the vac metal. Now that they do the vac metal, maybe it's better that they waited. But still, you got the more vintage head. You also got a smiling head, which is kind of cool. You got the little saw blades that bust out of his chest. I love the deluxe packaging shows Castle Grayskull, Wind Raider, which I've also got to do. Open up and do a review on. And then I love that the art has Flying Fist He-Man, which we know we're getting now. But enough jabbering. Let's open this thing up. Smiling head looks pretty cool. I think I'm going to stick to the vintage style one though. But still a nice ad. The bow is darn near identical. And then we've got the two saw blades. Two different types. Oh, this is modded after the vintage ones, but I don't know, it kind of reminds me of Crossfire. Crossfire, you get caught up in the new mini comic, Horde Plague. So clearly Hordak and Mosquitor are kind of the two of this wave. Still pumped to get it. And again, move for swap parts. And showing us how to do the little buzzsaw action. So click buzzsaw into place. Push down lever on the back to launch the buzzsaw. So it's right there. Okay, cool. Ooh, this cape seems much fancier than the other one. Super fancier. Much more in line with some of the other kind of cloth good replacements on the line. Great articulation on the head, almost maybe too much, a little too wobbly. So yeah, I guess the cape itself is the lever that pushes out the action. So it looks a little funky, to be honest. Like, that looks a little funky. Even though I like the quality of this cape way better than this was kind of like, this feels like old school capes and stuff. Gosh. Feels weird to say old school for something that was released in the 2010s, but I really prefer the more rubbery consistency on some of the stuff most of the stuff they've been doing on the Origins line, but that's a little funky looking. But if you're looking straight on, it doesn't look as bad, but again, like the second you go to the side, it's like, what is back there? What is back there? Oh, okay, there's like a little, you can pull it down right there. Let's put your gene in there. And then let's fire it off. Back off the lever. Oh boy. I'll just put them both in? Do I have to open it up first? Oh, lame. I thought it would like bust it open or something. But alas, that is not the case. Click, buzz, and okay, so this has to be open. Man, it'd been cooler if you like busted the chest open, but that's fine, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I guess you can say you get the vintage head sculpt if you want to use it, but other than that, honestly, this Buzzsaw Hordak's kind of a miss for me, personally. Others out there might love it, which is perfectly fine. But if you have the other Hordak, I don't think you really need this Hordak. But if you didn't get that one, then this is a good placeholder. I just don't think there's enough there to warrant buying 2. But I did. All right, we got the last 2. Battle Armor He-Man and Skeletor. If you've made it this far into this video, thank you. If you've made it this far, you can definitely throw this video a like. This has been fun, actually. I've actually had fun doing this. It's a little more, you know, off the cuff than my reviews usually go. It's usually, you know, those at least take 6 hours per video. It's a 10-minute video, about 6 hours. All the editing, all that fun stuff. I'm kind of digging the unboxing. I want to try to figure out a way to make live unboxings more compelling. Like, it was really fun to do the Sentinel that way, because you can kind of get the first takes and everything. Look at the back of the card. It's awesome, and again, the artwork is so freaking beautiful. Because there's this doing it live element, and kind of experiencing it as I'm experiencing it is a fun way to do it. And it would let me do more videos on the channel. I still would do my normal type of reviews. I think I really enjoy doing them. I mean, I do all this because I enjoy being creative, doing creative things. But all right, you put the swords together. Did he come with this? I don't think he had a blast attachment. No, he doesn't come with a blast attachment. So I guess they're showing you if you have He-Man, you can do that. You got interchangeable parts. Cool. The accessories are relatively the same. You got the Havoc Staff. You got 1/2 of the Power Sword. It wouldn't go to them to do a full Power Sword, though, in all fairness. You've got an extra, I guess, grinning head sculpt? Or is that supposed to be the stand? Like the, I think it's the vintage style one. You know, I'm keeping the new version of the Skeletor. I freaking love the open mouth. Like, it's just... You just look at him, it's like, ah, He-Man! Like, it's just, I freaking love that other head sculpt. But it's nice for those that want the more vintage style. You can get that too. It's cool. We also have a shield, which is nice. Some more armor for our Battle Armor Skeletor, and an extra fist to hold. So, you know, the criticism I had for these Battle Armor figures, just... you know, looking at the pictures of them, I do not like this head sculpt. This looks like he's smelling a fart. Ah, beast man! I told you not to eat those beans. I'm taking that out. But anyway, when they first showed us these, I didn't like how small this panel was. But I get it from an engineering perspective. It's like, it's the only place I can really put it, because these arms, unlike the vintage one. Oh, goodness. Do these arms not pop off? Did I not read the direct? No, they don't pop off. Oh, okay, well, they don't even do, if they don't even pop off. But I hope I didn't screw up his arm doing that. No, it's fine. God, these joints are really tight. Ooh. Okay. So, you know, the arms go in, the ball joints go in there, so there's not as much room to do the battle armor effect. But they work. It's just a wee bit smaller. It's not as bad in person, though. And yeah, I much prefer the vintage style head on my main man, Skeletor. I like giving us the extra hand, because I like having him with the Havoc Staff, but sometimes you want him to hold the Power Sword too. So I like the extra hand. It's only half the Power Sword, which is not as cool. But whatever, I guess. So there you go. Battle Armor Skeletor. Alright, we've made it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the end of our event. Battle Armor He-Man. The one, the only. Again, not a big fan of this face. But getting the vintage head is nice. But for those of us that are lucky enough to get the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set, the first Origins figures we ever got in 2019, that came with vintage heads for both the mini comic style Prince Adam as well as the He-Man. That's still my favorite He-Man. Just again, the extra they put into those accessories and just the paint application and just the build was so cool. I love the little knife pocket in his boot. I get why they had to scale that. Why is that? Get out, head! Leave this place! Hopefully I didn't ruin it. It looks safe. Alright, for accessories for He-Man. I got his axe, battle axe. Well, his half of the power sword. An extra weapons wielding hand. The vintage head. And he's got an energy blast for the power sword once it's fully operational. Oh, you see, will be quite operational when your friends arrive. What do you prefer? Return of the Jedi, Palpatine, or prequels Palpatine? God, it's a toss-up for me. It's a toss-up for me. I mean, you got do it. That's not how he says it. Do it. Anyway. So the He-Man's okay. His eyes, though, I'm not a fan of this head sculpt personally. But also the paint application of the eye, it's wonky. Like the pupil just is a little bit lower than it should be. The painting of the mouth, though, is really good. Like, his tongue's painted and everything in there. That's impressive. But then they miss on a pretty easy part like the eye. So, you know, I'm not good at customizing all that kind of stuff, but I'd be curious to see somebody that does this very well if they make a better painted version of this figure. So, oh, goodness. So definitely going vintage head again. I'm sorry, Mattel. I will say, the painting here on the neck, that's supposed to be flesh colored, did not quite nail it there. Just keep it, I would just kept it, I guess you could, metal turtleneck, that wouldn't have worked. It's not as noticeable once the head's on, so it covers up most of it, but just something of note there. Again, we've already talked about the smaller size of the actual action feature. I don't know why, just, the He-Man's a little less compelling to me. Even though the vintage one wasn't vac metal, it was just kind of pearlescent metal. So that's not too much of a detractor for me. I just think I've seen that new one and it looks so much cooler than this one. I have figure FOMO. It's a disease. It affects so many of us. Can't just be happy with what I have. Sound like I'm talking to my therapist. Anyway, got the battle axe here. And his half of the power sword. Which again, this is my problem, not giving us a full-size one. Like, I love the concept of the two halves of the power sword. It's one of my favorite play features from the original toy line, and I love that a lot of times they've respected that aspect. But displaying it, you have that weird half part to it, and so you then have to bring over your Skeletor and put them together. But, which again is not that big of a deal, but just give us the whole sword too. Which I believe that Battle Armor or He-Man Battle Cat Deluxe set Target exclusive does have a whole sword, but still, It shouldn't be that hard. Just throw it in there. Charge an extra 50 cents. So once you got both parts of the sword together, you can add this attachment, which is pretty cool. I'd be curious to see how it can stand, or yeah, it will add weight to the figure, so you're gonna pose it just right, so it doesn't fall over. Shake test. All right, looks like it's holding up. All right, so there you go. We've got a bunch of figures to stand up here. But before we do that, one, leftover accessories. Mostly from the Deluxe figures. Got some extra heads, some extra hands. So we got that. Cool. Mini comics. A whole bunch. Probably just keep, or keep nice one of these. But this is the problem to me of just having, I get it, like it's cost, so we'll be thankful we get anything at all. I totally understand that. But again, if you open up a whole bunch, you just have a bunch of duplicates. And a lot of us are getting all these figures, so it's not like trade with your friends and stuff like that. But there's a bunch of mini comics. But really, the pride of this collection is very quickly going to be all of my directions. Make it rain with directions here. Just watch. I'm going to hold on to these. Everybody else is going to throw them away. And these are going to become the most valuable part of MOTU Origins 30 years from now. Alright. Let's get these guys displayed. Alright, so we've got to have He-Man somewhere near the front. He's the star of the show, right? Alright. There you have it. All of them. All together now. It's about an hour, a little over an hour of unboxing. I probably edited it down for you at home so you did not have to bear the trauma of watching it for an hour. But yeah. Overall, really excited to finally crack these open. All really solid figures for me, except for the Buzzsaw Hordak. And maybe the Evil Lyn, but again, I know a lot of people really prefer this colorway for her. And it's still a good figure. I like the sculpt and everything. But the Buzzsaw Hordak with this weird cape thing and the action feature not really working that well is kind of a bummer. If I had to pick my favorite, it would probably be Clamp Champ and or Faker. Got Triclops too. Those are my top three. The Battle Armor He-Man Skeletor, they're okay. I prefer Skeletor just because I feel like his design's more compelling. Even though I love the Battle Armor He-Man. I don't know why, just the paint is really subdued on him. Like it all is very, it's not as vibrant as some of the other figures. I think one of the things I love about Origins is how vibrant the colors are. And he just kind of looks a little boring. But I think they've improved it with the back metal version of the figure. But still, really awesome waves. 4 and 5. Definitely get the Geek Dad Life by approval. As well as the Deluxe figures, save for Hordak. If you don't have the normal Wave 4 release Hordak, then sure, go for the Deluxe version. But I prefer the look of the Wave 4 version. So I think even then I would still say get the $15 one if you can. Definitely check out some of my other videos on this channel, like, where's my finger? This one YouTube wants you to check out, and one of my more recent videos. So thank you for letting me catch up with this insane unboxing video. And until next time, hasta luego, and goodbye.